inspired you to create a smart bin instead of a regular dustbin?
So like a normal dustbin, you have to touch it and open it, which is very unhygienic because trash cans can be very dirty. But with this automatic one, you can open it without even touching it, and this keeps everything so much cleaner.
How does the smart bin work?
I use multiple sensors and buttons and servos to make this possible.
What was the most challenging part of building the smart bin?
Yeah, I think one of the hardest part was putting it all together. It's because pretty early on, I was able to get an Arduino connected to a servo and the ultrasonic sensor. That when you come near, it would open this make this servo rotate. I was able to do that pretty early on, but it took a long time for me to figure out how exactly I was going to stick it on to the servo, onto the trash bin, and stuff like that.
Hello and welcome to our podcast. I'm your host and I'm very excited to introduce our young innovator, Aryaman, who will be sharing his project titled Smart Bin. So this project highlights how simple technology combined with creativity can help us keep our surroundings clean and hygienic. So Aryaman will walk us through how his Smart Bin works, what inspired him to create it, and what he learned during the process. So, can you tell us your name and the project you made?
Hi, my name is Aryaman, and the project I made is Smart Bin.
Wonderful. So great to have you here. And now tell us, briefly explain how and what your Smart Bin project is all about.
So my Smart Bin project is like a trash can where if you come near it, it automatically opens, giving you a touch-free experience. Because in my opinion, no one should have to touch a dirty trash can.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So, what inspired you? What inspired you to create a smart bin instead of a regular dustbin?
So a normal dustbin, you have to touch it and open it, which is very unhygienic because trash cans can be very dirty. But with this automatic one, you can open it without even touching it, and this keeps everything so much cleaner. And also I think it's really cool how you can achieve this really beautiful goal with very simplistic parts and not that much complexity.
Exactly, and that's a smart reason too. So now help us understand what was the most challenging part of building the smart bin.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest part was putting it all together. It's because pretty early on, I was able to get an Arduino connected to a servo and the ultrasonic sensor. That when you come near, it would open this make this servo rotate. I was able to do that pretty early on, but it took a long time for me to figure out how exactly I was going to stick it on to the servo, onto the trash bin, and stuff like that.
Very cool, and that's a clever mechanism. So speaking of parts, which components did you use for this project and why did you choose them?
The parts I chose include the servo, the ultrasonic sensor, LED, push button, and a PCB board, as well as
Great
Arduino.
choices.
So, ultrasonic sensor I picked because that's one of the best sensors for detecting distance, and is also very efficient and accurate, helping me detect something comes within range. I used the servo because it's a small yet powerful motor, which has more than enough power to open and close my trash bin.
Yeah.
And I also picked a blue LED because it's the brightest LED, and it gives light indicating that we're going to open the bin. And I also used the PCB board to connect the LED and the push buttons so it's all connected in one. And I didn't really want to use a breadboard because a breadboard would be too bulky to stick on a trash can.
So great choices, really, Armin. And with those components, how does the sensor in the smart bin detects when someone comes near to it?
So the ultrasonic sensor kind of like sends out ultrasonic waves, which is similar to echolocation. The sensor calculates how far something is based on how long it takes the waves to come back. And based on this data, I have a certain value, which if something comes within that range, it's going to open the bin, like 30 centimeters, 20 centimeters, and 10 centimeters.
That's smart sensing. Now, about the coding, like what coding platform or programming language did you use for your project?
Like I used a coding type called C++, which is a very useful coding. And I used it on the program Arduino IDE. The reason I use this because this is the official one for Arduino, and I was using an Arduino board, and this is very easy to upload code onto.
Definitely nice. And coding really brings it to life. So tell me about the modifications that you made.
Oh yeah, definitely. So like my original trash can, if you couldn't tell, was basically a trash can with an ultrasonic sensor that could just detect if something comes near and it opens the bin. That's like the simple model. But I added upon this by adding a panel where you can have buttons where you can select the range between 10, 20, and 30. I added this because I thought people would maybe like some people would think it's 10 is too less sensitive. Others might think 30 would be too sensitive. So I added this so that people have a choice of the range they would want. And I also add an LED so people know if it's on or off.
Wow, those are some smart changes you made. And I would like to know, like, what was the most challenging part of building the smart bin?
Yeah, I think one of the hardest part was like putting it all together. It's because like pretty early on, I was able to like get like a Arduino connected to a servo and the ultrasonic sensor. That when you come near, it would open this, like make the servo rotate. I was able to do that pretty early on, but it took a long time for me to figure out how exactly I was going to stick it on to the servo, onto the trash bin, and stuff like that. And like I needed a lot of help. I got help from my parents, help stick it on properly. And also I had a battery that like kind of like shorted out, and this was up now I couldn't really use the battery anymore. And also this also short circuited like the thing on the Arduino Uno, which allows it to be connected to a battery, and this caused so I could not use the battery anymore. So this was like an hour problem.
Oh, yeah, and that happens. And building projects always have tricky parts. So how did you solve the challenges you faced during the project?
Yes, like I already said that like I got help from my parents, and I also like kind of like ideated how I could like add it in the most easiest way. And like after, since I couldn't use a battery anymore, I decided like I will just plug it in and like plug it into a wall, and that was like kind of like how most home appliances work. So it like kind of looks more like a home appliance, anyways.
Great. I would say that's great problem solving. And compared to a regular bin, what are the main benefits of using a smart bin compared to a normal bin?
Yeah, well, like we already said, like you don't actually need to touch the bin. You can just put your hand near it and it automatically just opens the bin, which is great. It promotes cleanliness and so much more.
Exactly. And that's a big improvement. And speaking of hygiene, like how does your project help in promoting cleanliness and hygiene?
So first of all, like people don't need to touch trash cans anymore, and like I'm sure lots of people when they touch trash can, a dirty trash can, bacteria go on their hand and they forget to wash their hands, and they end up eating with that very same hands, making that bacteria enter their body, which is very like unhealthy. But now that it's a touchless experience, people don't have to touch a dirty trash can, and they won't get sick. And also, it helps make many more people more incentivized to throw stuff away, because people don't want to touch a dirty trash can, and it might disincentivize them to throw stuff away. But now it's handless, they are more incentivized to throw stuff away.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. And now, after building it, did you test your smart bin? Like, how did it perform during your trials?
Yeah, I had multiple trials. Like the first time around, sometimes I had some code errors, and the way I solved this was by just simply solving all the syntax errors and every error. And also, like I've already mentioned, my battery transistor got like short circuited. I didn't figure it out in a long time. So I didn't really know why my thing wasn't working. When I found out, I added in the plugin thing, and I made a new trial and a new model with the plugin, and now I have my working version.
That's great to hear. And for other students, like, what advice would you give to other students who want to build a similar project?
Yeah, it's like one piece of advice I would give would like you should make like something you're passionate about and actually want to build. Because if you're not passionate about it, no one can fully force you to finish and make a project. And if it's something you won't like, then like your creativity and like your modifications won't be as good. And it's probably gonna be end up like sitting on like this corner of your room if you don't actually passionate about it. Another thing I would say is you should never do this fully on your own. You should try to get help from your parents or your friends or anyone else if you come with a tough spot. Or you can even search it up or look at YouTube videos to help figure out your issues.
And those are really some helpful advice, Aryaman. And lastly, why do you think smart and automated devices like your smart bin are important in today's world?
Yeah, because they can help make people stay cleaner, and they can also help make it so much more convenient for people.
Yeah, and that's a thoughtful answer. Well said. Now we'll be calling parents. So if you have anyone beside you, you can call them. So welcome, Aryaman's dad, and we have this one question for you. We want to know what was your role and contribution to your child's project, and how did you feel about it?
Well, I think like I almost did not do anything. I knew he was doing the project, and then like he made those step-by-step improvements, and he was learning on the go. So yeah, I think like I was very amazed when I ended up seeing the final product. I did not know like he would be able to prepare something. So yeah, it was pretty amazing experience seeing him being able to create something. It's like the application is simple, but like the engineering behind it is pretty complex.
Yeah, and that's lovely, and it's wonderful to see such strong support behind the project from family and especially from parents. So, thank you so much for sharing your experience. Thank you, Aryaman, for sharing your smart bin project with us today. And your ideas and explanations show how technology can make everyday life smarter and more convenient. And we hope your project inspires other students to think creatively and build solutions that can help the environment. And thank you for joining us today.